NeNe, you might be on a spiritual journey, but it's clear that Bravo is putting you in third class. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. Real Housewives of Atlanta season 12 episode, I don't know. Let's talk about it. I have to get into a couple of things because, girl, y'all are making Real Housewives of Atlanta way more work than it usually is for me. You have NeNe doing her review after the show, and you also have Kandi doing her review. So I tried to kind of watch both of them and try to get some like behind the scenes information and stuff. So I can make sure when I do my review, I can tell y'all about some stuff that, you know, that's not normally talked about in reviews and stuff. So, you know, kind of sweeten up the deal a little bit for you all. So before we get into this, I normally don't do this, but I've been encouraged by my YouTube partner to tell y'all to subscribe. If you watching, you like the reviews and stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Oh, it sounds so lame doing that, but I am doing that. So this episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, it was good. It wasn't like draining, even though I think it was a little bit emotional. Considering what's going on with Eva and her daughter changing the last name. Started a conversation on Twitter that I saw a little bit. I have not been on social media. I have not been putting out as many videos the last couple of days because I took another mental break or whatever. So I appreciate that, girl. It was just, I needed it. It was just so much going on. And I feel like I can't escape. But I'm going to get into that in the video later on the King Reed's video, so stay tuned to that. So this episode was mainly about Eva changing her daughter's last name legally. Giving the last name to of Sterling, and it was nice. And like I said, it started the conversation because my mother and father did the same thing with one of my cousins and stuff. And that was something that they, you know, that the child wanted. So a lot of folks were like, why would you do this? It's kind of spiteful to the father of the child. Why would you do this? Like, why is that situation? But sometimes the kids do want to feel included. Sometimes they want to be a part of that. That was something that my mother and father talked to with one of the kids. They wanted to change their last name. So yeah, some people were saying that Eva was doing it to be spiteful to, you know, the father of the child. And I don't think that was the case. I think Eva was doing that because the girl wanted to be included. And you can kind of hear that was something that she was interested in doing. So y'all be loving to say that women, like the baby mamas, be so spiteful and doing all this, but y'all don't never give that energy to the men that be out here not doing what they're supposed to do. I just remember even me trying to help homegirl last week. People were saying, well, where the baby daddy at? Why are we asking where the baby daddy at? Like, this woman needs some help. Let's get her some help. Y'all know these men be doing what they doing. Y'all know that patriarchy plays into how they treat these folks. Like, girl, like these women and stuff. Like, if this woman is asking for help, why is it always, oh, where the baby daddy at? Clearly they ain't there. That's why they asking for help. So give me folks some help. But that's me going off about that. But this episode was about Eva and that. So it wasn't like a lot of tea, but it was, you know, us coming back off of that episode of the girls going at it. The girls end up going to the spa that they went to the last time after Pillow Talk. I think that's the same spot after everything happened with Apollo getting into with Kenya's friend and Phaedra getting into it. Like, that had all went to that same spot after Pillow Talk. And that's when NeNe said, you should have got up out your seat acting like a queen. That's when that whole thing happened. So it's funny they went, but they only went in like a different friendship group. I think, well, who was it went? So it's Kandi, Porsha, Marlo, and Tanya. And they sit down and start talking, and they bring up the whole situation, what's going on, and with the cookie lady. So the tea comes out about the cookie lady trying to flirt with Tanya's man. And, you know, Tanya is just like, girl, I already knew about it because Cynthia had told Tanya about it. So she already knew. So you got Kandi sitting down there like quiet, and she's not really saying anything. They kind of trying to drag and shade Kenya a little bit, and Kandi doesn't seem like she is interested in it. Kandi, I watched Candi's review, and Kandi says she doesn't have an alliance with anybody. She doesn't believe in alliances and stuff. She doesn't do that because she don't want to seem like it's like, you know, I guess scripted or whatever, or you have a objective or a motive or whatever. But I will say, watching this, how you had conversation, how you were shading and saying some stuff, you were very much shady, Kandi, when you were with Cynthia and Kenya, when they was dragging and saying, oh, you know, what's the name? It's just bad. The girl, the cookie lady, was better than Tanya. Like, Kandi, you was just laughing. You was like, ha ha ha. But when it came to shade Kenya and, you know, pulling out the wig, you was like, take the wig back. So, Candy, it does come off that you being kind of fake. And Candy, I would say that you not normally as fake as a lot of other folks are, but this, you do look like you're an alliance because you want to take the wig off of Marlo, and you got Kenya over here being shady. And even in the confession, you don't come for Kenya. Anybody can come for Kenya. Kenya can't read like that. Kenya is pretty good, but Tanya was replaying and giving that same energy that Kenya was giving. Anybody at this moment can read Kenya right now. Kenya ass is in distress with a man that don't want her, walks all over her, talks about her like a dog, and takes up for folks who talking bad about her. So anybody can read Kenya. We all know that they all Kenya's hair. We know that's a wig or extensions or pieces or whatever. But how you acting, Candy, was just, now I got irritated thinking about it because it's like, people were kind of dragging Candy a little bit because it was like, the way Candy seemed like she's protective of Kenya is annoying. And it was kind of annoying. It's like, girl, can't nobody say nothing about her. Even NeNe talked about it in her review. It's like, Candy, girl, you can try to sweet talk your way out of there, but Candy ain't tasting like candy yams. It's tasting like damn baked rusted potatoes. They need some sugar, they need some butter, and they need some real sweet potatoes. Because, girl, these ain't sweet at all. We ain't buying that candy. But I think Tanya pulling out the wig was right. I think, you know, if I'm crossing the board, I'm gonna check the bag, girl. You ain't finna get me in trouble. Not saying that Kenya would do that, but girl, I gotta protect myself because I don't know. Like, I ain't trying to be in no mess. So I don't think Tanya checking the bag was her being messy. I don't think her bringing the wig was being messy. I think Tanya's just playing the game. I watched her on Watch What Happens Live. I don't think Tanya is a mean-spirited person. I don't think that she loves shading people, but she is learning, and somebody's telling her, like, Tanya, you got to be prepared. These are different type of girls. Like these, because these girls tried her last season. The whole thing about her finding, you know, you might marry somebody else to, you know, why you ain't marrying this man? And, like, they have been trying Tanya, so I don't blame Tanya for being prepared for what was going on. I don't blame Tanya for being ready. And she didn't have the wig in her purse. She pulled it out. She said, okay, since she being messy, because Tanya already knew going forward that Kenya was talking about her with the cooking lady. And Kenya, that was not your place to sit up here and talk about, oh, the girl was bad. Somebody being bad or physically attractive or desirable does not mean that they're a good person or they're a good person for that person. It doesn't mean anything. Kenya, you the baddest, like, woman, one of the baddest on Housewives. Like, you look good, stunning, beautiful. Even when you had that white outfit in the confessional, you looked amazing. But girl, your man treats you like shit. So it should tell you that it don't matter if you bad or whatever. It's about how you are as a person. And your man ain't even attracted to what's inside your body. Girl, he don't see it for you. So for you to be out here shading this woman, she happy. Like, I do think that you're a little envious. And you started it, Kenya. You started this whole thing with Tanya. You literally said, oh, girl, how we feel. It wouldn't have been bad if you had started the conversation. You used that moment to kind of like be shaded towards Tanya. Instead of saying, girl, I saw this. You was being messy. Now, Candy said the reason why she didn't like say anything too much in that moment is because the conversation that they had was offline, off camera. So she knew about the cooking lady, but they told her off camera. So Candy, and I respect that. I respect it. I think that's a good way to go, is that anything that's talked about off camera, I don't bring it to the table. I don't bring it on the show unless they bring it up. She said, I don't do that. I don't get into the off camera conversations. That's my, I respect that from Candy 100%, because it's like, girl, if you're gonna talk about it, people gonna see it. So with what's the name, with Eva calling Candy Salt Bay and all of these things, it's just like, girl, you said that on camera, it's gonna get back, so it's up for fair game. Like, we can talk about it. So I understand Candy knows how to play this game on Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is why she's one of the longest running folks on here. They ain't excluding her out some episodes like they doing NeNe. Say what you want about NeNe, but NeNe is finna transition from Real Housewives of Atlanta star to social media influencer, girl. I love you, NeNe. Watch your video. Thought it was one of the best videos you have done. I love the editing. That clicking button, subscribe link, that shit, doing that shit every 2 minutes, that shit is annoying. Take that out your damn videos. It's too much. Get you a better camera. Stop using that phone because the audio sounds like shit. I don't think you need a set designer right now. I think you're doing what you're doing. You have plenty of places in your house to do what you're doing, girl. Just get some better equipment. It's Tanya time! Marlo being shaded with that wig piece, I thought that was funny. But Candy was acting like somebody damn mama trying to take the wig piece and trying to keep her from being shady, but she wasn't out here being shady. She wasn't out here trying to stop Kenya when she was talking about the girl was bad. It just wasn't. So Porsha meets up with Mama Diane, Porsha and Dennis storyline, or you know, whatever Porsha storyline with Dennis and stuff. Kind of ready for it to conclude or whatever. I do love it. I do love that Dennis is interested in sitting down with the family talking about it. I do love that Porsha is, you know, talking to them and telling the family like what's going on. I did watch NeNe's review, and NeNe has some good advice when it comes to relationships. She said you don't talk about your relationship with everybody. Like you don't tell your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sisters. You don't tell everybody, all your friends, every time something goes wrong in your relationship, every time little small stuff, because you will create an environment where the people don't like this person. And trust me, I have had friends to do it with me. I have done it with friends before. It's just like, girl, every time you telling me some stuff, I'm like, girl, leave him. Like, leave him. Stop talking to him. Stop talking to him. Like, stop doing it. So, and you gonna end up still being with him, and now I got this animosity to him because I know what he's doing behind the scenes, and I don't want to be around him. So yeah, I do agree with that. NeNe. NeNe actually be giving some cute little gems. I mean, she's been in a relationship with Greg for 50, 100 years, so it's cute. But I think Porsha talking to the family because the family was affected by it. I don't think that's nothing wrong with that. Like talking to them, figuring out like how can we move forward. Because the family like, okay, you know, we can talk to Dennis. We can have a conversation, figure out what's going on. Really, bitch? Really, bitch? Really, bitch? Really, bitch? It's Tanya time. That old clip of Kenya saying, hey, really, bitch? That is so funny to me. So the girls go to 10th and Piedmont, one of my favorite brunch spots in Atlanta. Food is good. Service is great. Been there twice. The service is great. Come on, got to be real. But the girls go to 10th and Piedmont to have lunch or whatever. They're sitting down. 10th and Piedmont has some really great food. They sit down, and this is where Kenya is finding out about the wig thing, and she was kind of caught off guard, like, oh, okay, here I go. Oh, okay. She tried to play it off. You can tell Kenya's just like, she a little bit shook by, you know, us seeing that. And I think this is the issue. As much as Kenya likes to pretend like the issue with the wig is us being jealous or whatever because her successful wig line or whatever she's doing, hair care products, Kenya is because you have been, and even Bravo brought that up, that you have been talking about your hair and saying that you don't wear whatever for the longest. So yes, it does look kind of funny that we catch you with a wig. It'll be the same thing as if somebody told me, well, I do, this is how I work out. Somebody who's muscle body, gym body or whatever, been working out, somebody said, this is how I get my stuff, and then we find out they're on steroids. It's not the same thing, like, girl, and if you want to use steroids or whatever products and stuff to increase your whatever, you do that. But sis, Kenya, you make it seem like as though you are too good for them and you don't need them because your hair is so full and thick. But the thing is, you use is a U-turn or something, a U-wig, I don't know what it's called. It's supposed to make it look more thick or something, girl. I don't know about wigs. I don't wear wigs like that. Y'all had to check with some other folks. But I thought that was funny for her to be called out by that. Tanya, smart move. But Kenya getting really mad and upset about that. Okay, Tanya, I got you. But Kenya, you started from the very beginning when you bringing up that cheating stuff, and Tanya had already knew that you were talking about her. Like, you were being messy as hell with that. We don't know when Cynthia told Tanya, but Cynthia, you know, probably told her like right after it happened. So she already knew about it when she was on the trip. Because the way, Kenya, you didn't even play it off as a conversation that was open to everybody. You kind of made it seem like that you were talking. Even Candy picked up on that. So Kenya, how you go to myself, I'm finna assassinate, I'm finna do this, I'm finna drag. Like, you 40 something years old, you too damn old for this. And I hate to be like, it was like, Kenya, you're a grown ass woman to myself. I'm a shade. You ain't nobody shade counselor. Shut your ass up. You like, girl, you grown with a child on a half-ass marriage. Like, girl, go find somewhere to sit down. Kenya is so irritating sometimes. She do everything in her power to make sure she got a steady check on this show. I guess you have to love to see it. I hate it. And I did have one question. Did y'all pay attention to that crab scene, the crab cakes where Kenya ordered crab cakes and Candy ordered crab cakes, and Candy wanted some crab cakes and she ordered them as an appetizer, and Kenya was like, oh, I ordered them as an appetizer too, when Kenya didn't order them as an appetizer. I didn't hear her say that she wanted them as an appetizer. It sounded like that she was saying that she wanted some crab cakes as her meal. And they showed us that, which they normally don't do that. And I didn't see the purpose of that. Maybe they were trying to make it seem as though Kenya was rude to a service worker or whatever, which I can see. I think Kenya does probably be rude like that. Like, that's what it gave off to me. That's how I received it. And it's a way to talk to service folks in a way that she was talking to her, just the way that Kenya talked to that man. And he white, so y'all really know I don't really care, but I just don't like folks talking to service members like that. I'm just not here for it. But the way she was like, oh, I ordered them too, just like, oh, okay, I'm a little hungry. I'll take some too if you can. That's how I talk to my service folks. I never catch attitude with folks. One, I don't play about talking to folks crazy who work with my food. I don't understand how y'all be talking to these folks crazy. Not the fact that they are human at the end of the day, no matter what job they're doing. And it's sad that I even have to say that, but these folks are handling your food. I don't want to piss nobody off. I don't want to be rude to anybody. I don't want people to think I'm being rude to anybody that's handling my food. So Kenya, you need to get that shit together, because I didn't like that. I don't know why Bravo showed us that, but girl, we saw it, honey. What was the purpose? What do y'all think was the purpose of that? So the whole thing with the fertility situation, I really didn't get the fertility conversation. Bravo, y'all been doing a lot this season where y'all have meetups that was not shown but filmed, and then y'all show it as a flashback as to us to keep up with it. When y'all can actually cut out some scenes that we don't need and actually give us this. Like, I don't know how y'all doing it, but y'all be having conversations and stuff about things that were recorded. We should have seen Cynthia sit down with Tanya. I don't know. Well, now, you know what? No, I don't think we should have seen that. I don't think we should have seen that. I think we should have seen Tanya and Kenya talk about infertility a little bit, because I would have liked to know if Tanya was irritable in that moment. She was having a conversation with Kenya about it. I don't agree with Tanya about that. I don't think that Tanya was irritable. I don't think she was offended or anything about that. I think this, I don't know, it don't sound like she was. It didn't come off as she was, so I don't see her being bothered by it. But Kenya was really pissed off about that. But Kenya, just because you have experienced infertility, that does not mean that you don't own that. Like, you can't do no wrong with that. That doesn't mean anything, girl. You can still be wrong in your stuff. I had to have a conversation with somebody on Twitter, and I had unfollowed them because they think because they were assaulted that they own assault, and they can tell us what is and what isn't assault. You don't own that. You don't own that. But I do think that Tanya did kind of play it up a little bit. I don't think Tanya was irritated by that conversation. But sometimes we can't tell by looking at somebody if somebody was irritable. They might be playing it off. Tanya might be an excellent actress with it. She might be better than Kenya, her 5-minute roles on these movies and stuff. But it's Tanya time! I think Tanya's playing the game. I think her own goofy way. I did like how Candy said that. Like, she had her own, well, no, I think that was NeNe that said that in her review. Like, that was Tanya's way of getting back at Kenya in her own silly, goofy way. And it wasn't like super malicious. Like, now Kenya's about to take it. I don't think that Kenya can be malicious or anything towards Tanya. I think Tanya is good. It doesn't seem like a ring really means too much, because girl, you got one and you ain't even happy. And Tanya don't have one, and she in the best place of her life. Hey, somebody getting fired. NeNe thought this episode of Housewives was a little slow. Girl, this is about the 4th or 5th episode. We have not seen NeNe. Girl, they're kicking you over to the left. What y'all think about it? Coming up, we saw the mid-season trailer. Hot. We saw NeNe, allegedly trying to spit on Kenya. Girl, that was messy. The way Tanya said that had me screaming. It was messy. So she's such a goofball, and I love it. Girl, a lot going on. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Girl, a lot of mess. The mid-season trailer. I'm thinking about the movie Midsummer. But the mid-season trailer was good. Some folks said it's getting kind of spicy. I think it's already been. I am going to do a watch party for the reunion. I know I'm talking about it all the way in January, and we got like a couple more months to go. But I want to see if y'all are interested in me doing a reunion watch party for the first part and the second part, or y'all want it like first, second, and third, which I highly doubt. But if y'all want 1 and 2, I'll do 2 watch parties for the first part of the reunion and the second part. So tell me how y'all feel about that. If y'all interested in coming, because you need to go ahead and get your stuff and be off to be able to come and kick it, so we can have some good drinks and talk about this season of Atlanta. But let me know in the comments how y'all felt about this episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later on tonight. Bye.